If you look at the stories of the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Torah and the Gospels, it's embarrassing. What happened is that when a prophet of God comes to them, what is the function of a prophet of God? Tell you the right path, the right thing to do, the things that you are forbidden from doing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always sends a prophet of God when people transgress so much, so we bring that prophet of God as a warner, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا شَاهِدًا وَمُبَشِّرًا, and what else? وَنَذِيرًا, a witness to give the glad tidings of people of the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a nadhira, a warning. You transgress so much, if you do not reform your ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would punish you. So the Prophet comes to them, this is right and this is wrong. So if they're copying the scriptures and they want to keep their ways the same ways before the Prophet comes in, so what they do, they change the stories of the Prophet to make the prophets sinning people like they are. So no one is better than anyone. You tell us this is right and this is wrong, what about this? And they start to come up with accusations and buhtan and ifk about the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran came because this is the final true word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to rectify and set the account of all prophets of God straight and defend their honor that was tarnished by these people. Example, Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. He was a nation of Muslims himself, the father of all prophets. What is his story in the Bible? In the book of Deuteronomy, this is in the Old Torah, they say that his wife, Sarah, who was beautiful, they went to the land of Egypt, and he said to her, you know what? That's according to the Bible and it's totally a fabrication. You're so beautiful. People are going to look at me and are going to be jealous at me and they might hurt me. So when we walk in, if somebody asks you, you're not my wife, tell him that you are my sister. The Pharaoh supposedly seen her, liked her, and asked Ibrahim, alayhi salam, this is the father of all the prophets, I want to marry her. And according to their story, Ibrahim alayhi salam, hasha lillah, accepted and gave his wife to the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh gave him gifts of donkeys and camels and things like that. And the story goes, as there were some calamities that happened to the Pharaoh, so the Pharaoh felt that there's something wrong with that marriage. So he said, you know, this looks like it was your woman, and he gave it to me. Keep your gifts, take her. I don't want these curses that are happening to me. So the Pharaoh is more righteous and more fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, supposedly, according to the lies, than Ibrahim alayhi salam. Can you believe that? Father of all prophets. Is that enough? Dawood alayhi salam. Dawood alayhi salam, subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, اعملوا آل داود شكرا وقليل من عبادي الشكور. Dawood alayhi salam used to have one member of his family praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one time around the clock. So you never enter the house. Time never passes by his household unless someone is mentioning and praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they want to tarnish him. Dawood alayhi salam is telling them right from wrong, abstain from this, do that, and they don't like that. So what happened? They claimed that he's seen the wife of one of his military leaders taking a shower, and he liked her, so he went, hasha lillah, this is their fabrication, committed zina, adultery with her, and sent her husband to the front line so he can get killed in battle, and he can keep his wife for himself. Right there. And these are the prophets of God that are supposed to be the best people that ever walked the earth. Is that enough? No. That lady had an illegitimate child who supposedly that is Sulaiman alayhi salam. Is that enough? No. Nuh alayhi salam in the Bible is supposed to be a drunkard man. Drinks wine all the time. The things that was forbidden, subhanAllah, since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send his message. Is that enough? Lut alayhi salam, they claimed that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed al-mu'tafikat, the villages around them, and he went away, his wife died with them, now he has his daughters. So they claimed that his daughters told him, you know what, how can we reprocreate and have more children and another generation while you're the only man around? So what they did to a prophet of Allah, they gave him wine till he became totally drunk, and Hasha lillah, wallahi, subhanallah, it's hard to say it. He had supposedly sex with his own daughters, and subhanallah, all of a sudden when he started to awaken from the liquor and the wine that they kept giving him, that he found children and he never asked where they came from. These are the stories. Read it, it's right there. Comes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not only set the record straight, not only tell the stories so we can all learn from them, but rectify the disasters that they did. Writing what they claim the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with their own hands, and it's not